So we're officially recording. Welcome, Eleonora. It's very nice to meet you. And yeah, I figured why not start with a little bit of backstory? Like, who is this woman from Italy? That's what I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Eleonora. I'm from Italy, and I'm living in the Netherlands since 5 years already. First in Utrecht and now in Amsterdam. I'm a freelance designer, and depending on the client, I do branding, creative strategy, and digital design. My favorite sectors are lifestyle, media, and entertainment. But I also done recently something in the food industry in here, working with a startup in the Netherlands. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what made you kind of find your way into the food industry? That sounds quite different than the lifestyle industry.
Maybe because I have together with my partner, we have a small business, and we sell. He's a chef, and he started a business on the fermentation food. So we
Right.
sell. I help him with branding and strategy, of course.
Yeah.
And we sell kimchi, sriracha, and sauerkraut in Amsterdam.
Are you selling online?
Yes, we have an Instagram account actually, and yeah.
Okay. You will have to send me a link somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I will send you the link, and that's why I'm into food in general because of him.
Right.
And then it happened that I met this person via an event, and then I start collaborating with the startup that is building up a robotic kitchen in Amsterdam. So yeah, very interesting project.
Like a restaurant fully driven by robotics?
Not a restaurant, but it's just like a B2B service for companies, catering or whatever. And they sell the technology or they produce meals for a third party.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, super interesting.
Check that out sometime.
They are based in Zaandam now, and they are building up another robotic kitchen. Yeah.
Cool. I live in Zaandam, so maybe I can go and check it out sometime.
Hamburg terrain. Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean, do you know Lab 44?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You're there, right? Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I'm close to there. It's a bit of a walk, but it's walking distance from my place, and
Yeah.
me and my partner sometimes go there and just hang out because Hamburg terrain is amazing. You know,
I
such a
know,
nice
I know.
hangout.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. Unfortunately, it's a little bit tricky to reach from Amsterdam.
Yeah,
It's a little bit
for
far,
now.
but
Mhm.
yeah, but it's
I
nice.
think it'll get better though. Yeah. Anyway, I was just checking back, like, how did we meet? And I think you had a booking request on ADP list before, and then I was not doing mentorship sessions anymore for some time. Then I came back and I sent you a message like, "Hey, I saw you on the wait list," and I'm very curious to hear, like, one, how'd you end up on the wait list, and two, like, what are like some of the main questions you would like to go over?
Yeah. Okay. So I follow you. Yeah, I think since a couple of months already. I think I was doing some research and I found your company. And then I saw you were on a DP list. I'm also a mentor on a DP list, by the way. So, and then I joined the waitlist.
Right.
And let's say that my main topic for this mentorship was to understand more the Netherlands in general with the startup field and networking, whatever. Because when I moved to the Netherlands, after a little while, COVID arrived. So I was not super able to networking with people. Of course, online it was easy, but I'm missing some social and real exchange of ideas. Also because I like, I'm super digital, but I really like to be present and to see people live. So one of my main topic of this session was to understand with you how is the vibe in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands for networking and events in the startup fields. Yeah, because I saw that you are quite into the industry, so
in a way, yeah. I mean, I'm quite into the industry. I do think I'm also heavily biased. Like I'm digital by heart and nature. I do like being present very much. I like people, being surrounded by people. But like you said, so we started Square One 3 years ago, which was mid-pandemic.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did start networking, and Cherry started networking way before that already. And we've already been very focused on just getting to know the right people. And when we started Square One of our main questions became, who does that actually mean? Who is the right person to meet? And because what I've seen is a lot of creatives getting into, and I think it's natural to get into the cycle of mostly talking to recruiters and people writing vacancies or maybe writing tenders. And because the job market, well, it was already a bit crowded, but now it's even worse, right?
Yeah.
We figured, well, maybe those are not the right people to meet, because what I think, well, what is definitely true for us, but what I think is happening worldwide, is that before a vacancy is written, people will reach out to their own network first. So if you're part of that network, you're suddenly far more likely to be in front of the huge line of people that will apply for like freelance gigs and vacancies, right? So what we started doing, and I mean, it's such a simple thing, but also very effective, is we started defining our target audience as a creative business better, which to us are primarily design managers and product managers, because our philosophy is that designers hire designers generally. And so we started reaching out to them on LinkedIn years ago. Every month I make a list, I think, of about 200-300 interesting design people, design managers and product managers. And I quite literally just sent them a very simple connection request, like, hey, I make cool stuff, you make cool stuff, we should connect, no strings attached. And after that, I don't send them anything anymore. I don't follow up. I don't send them a sales message whatsoever. I just, share my content and share my work. And what I'm hoping is happening more is that work will show up on their timelines, and they'll think of us when they have a certain need, right? When they think they need a designer. And every once in a while, we'll invite some people to just have talks about design to get us more ingrained into that network. And that's been very helpful. It's working really well, because over the past 3 years, I don't think we have applied to any job post, because we were just talking to the people that needed designers to start with.
Yeah.
And that's proven very valuable. And now we're making the next step, which I think I really want to invite you to that as well. At least, so later today, we're going to publish our event page. We'll be hosting an event in May, real life only, nothing streamed, nothing online.
Great.
And we're gonna great. It's in Amsterdam, so that's good. We're inviting 130 designers, designers and product people to come together, and we have some really cool speakers lined up. So that is also an opportunity, right? It's what we've been doing as well, sometimes just to go to places where design managers end up. So not meetups per se, but maybe like conferences and design events where these people get a chance to talk on stage.
Yeah.
Then we try to be present every once in a while to, again, just network with the right people. And yeah, who the right people are, that is kind of a definition everyone has to make for themselves, right? But yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I see this kind of events and something that allow you to exchange more easily also, because as a creatives, I think we have more than a resume, you know. It's not just something that you can do, but it's something more. And everyone is different. I see. I had a lot of experiences also working with other designers, and every one of us has his own, you know, main characteristic. So, and if you, I mean, especially for me, I like to be social, but in real life. So online, I have some difficulties. So being present with people and talk and sharing all the things that my passions, my work, my ideas is more easy. And I think after the pandemic, there's less of these events in general.
That's true.
Everywhere I see. And when I was in Italy, I was in Milan. I always work in the startup field since the last 10 years. And of course, Italy is a little bit different from the Netherlands, I see. But still, there was a lot of incubator co-workings also there. So you could join a lot of events and meet people. Also into specific fields. So IT, media, creative, different topic where you could join specific groups, specific communities. So and as you said, it was more targeted, you know.
Right.
I see that sometimes you join an online session, an online meeting, and of course the topic is specific, but then you have a lot of people that are not specifically connected to the topic, connected to the target. So it ended up that people is asking questions that are like out of the blue, you know?
Right.
So I think physical events are more consistent in a way. So,
I think so too. In fact, I think the entry barrier is a bit higher when it's physical, because you make a bigger commitment. You have to go there, possibly have to pay for a ticket, all these things. And joining online, you can turn off your camera, you can turn off your mic, and maybe shout something irrelevant. It's easier because you can do it from behind your screen.
Yeah.
So I feel that, and I've never been a fan of joining online events. I don't like it. I don't like sitting behind my screen that long, and my attention span is too short for it. You know, it's the same as me listening to a podcast. I listen maybe 20 minutes, I pause it, and then I listen another 20 minutes like the next morning.
Yeah.
But I cannot sit still for 3 hours and just listen. But that does raise the question then, right? How do you set yourself apart online if you feel that is a important factor? So how do you currently communicate about yourself? Like, what is the key problem you help businesses solve?
You mean in my work, let's say?
Yeah.
In a way, it's similar to your business, but more onto the design part. So in the last years, I always worked with small startup, small companies, to build it up, the product or the service or whatever they have to build it up. And I have, a 360 approach on it. And I like to put the right dose of creativity all the time. So, and in combination with my experience that I had in the last 10, 15 years, I like to create the right creative strategy or creative solutions based on, of course, user needs, but also business, budget, timeline, and I see that I'm like the creative glue for small businesses, because when I see this repeating pattern in small companies in which they don't consider everything in the creation of the product or the service. I mean, it's normal because small teams, people have great ideas, but then to realize these ideas is not easy. So I like to connect all the dots and create the creative part for the product service. That's why in my, let's say, my portfolio, it's a little bit 360. and I define myself a multidisciplinary designer because I don't see barriers for me to create something, but I did digital applications, I did packaging, I did offline material. So it depends on what you have to create. I help you create the product or the service and add all the consistency that you need in all your touch points, depending on the customer journey, let's say. And of course, my main fields, of course, are, as I said, lifestyles, media. I like music, so. But of course, as I said, I work with a startup in the food industry, and we also created a software. So I helped them with a UX UI for the software of the robotic kitchen. So yeah.
Yeah, sounds very broad indeed. And the reason I was asking is because as a design colleague, I understand that perspective really well. As in, the way I see myself is also a problem solver. I don't really care about what I have to create, but I will create whatever is needed to make the business work, or to actually find out that the business should not exist. Like, that's another outcome. But and the reason I was asking this question is because when I look at your LinkedIn and your website, I was having a look at it. One of the questions I had is, do I, as a business person or a product manager or a design manager, do I understand what it means, what multidisciplinary designer means?
Yeah.
And I like communicating in a way that it focuses on a problem that the people have in common, right? So, and you explained it really well just now. I think that was super clear, is that you go into a business and you help them figure out what's needed to make it run. And then you'll design the solutions to that, or, something along these lines. And I think it's very important that when you promote yourself online, is that you have that you treat it kind of the same way you would actually treat a project for a client, because you have a target audience and you need to understand them well, right? You need to understand where they're coming from, what their problems are, and how you can help them fix that. Yeah. So that was my main observation, actually, because the work you're making looks very fresh and engaging and friendly. You can tell there's a professional behind it. So that is cool. And then I started reading, and that's when I was like, oh, maybe I'm not sure if that story is clear yet to everyone.
Yeah, I think you touched the right point, because I'm working on a new portfolio, actually. Because I think my actual portfolio is quite old in the way it's structured, and it worked when I was in Italy, because in Italy, that's why I'm struggling now in the Netherlands to find clients here, because in Italy it was easier for me because I was going from one client to other one with word of mouth, or working with people that you know. And so I skipped a little bit updating the portfolio or creating a different story on it. But now I see this gap, because people that are reaching out because they're looking at my LinkedIn portfolio profile or my portfolio online, they don't understand completely what I do, in the sense of the wide approach that I have. So definitely it's something that I'm working on, because I want to target more specific project and companies now to do exactly this, to find this kind of job opportunities, which is not easy. So
no, it's not easy, and that's another question I have is like, what would be the dream client? I know it's very hard to answer because you have a broad interest, but if you could just pick one thing you could build from scratch.
You mean an existing company, or?
Maybe it can also be like an idea or a vision of something that should exist. It doesn't have to be existing already. But what would be the one thing that you could spend years on?
I don't have company specific, but I would love to work again in the music industry, as I did with my own. I found a company in the music field, and I really enjoyed it 10 years ago, actually. So I would love to work again in the music industry, and maybe founding another music startup. Although I know the limits and the difficulties of being in that sector.
Right.
So or in the art field. I really like art, and I still see that online. There's not. In the music field, I think Spotify and other platforms are, already in the right way. But in the art in the sense of art print or platform that allow you to buy art, there's still some some space
for improvement.
Yeah. There's some works well, but I think there's still some space for it.
Then what about music art? Any way you can combine it?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But then you have a double problem with licensing, so.
Yeah, possibly. But actually, what I was leaning towards is if these are your, let's say, music is something you just dream about. Maybe getting paid in that scene is a bit tricky, but it might also be a first barrier up to the point where you're famous or well known enough to make a decent amount of money in that niche, right? Yeah. So is there any way you could position yourself to be fully attractive to that industry? So because the way I think about it is that if that's really what you want, you could reach out to all the product and communication managers in the industry, and I mean, there's thousands of them, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you could also take it into consideration into your personal brand. Like, oh, I'm going to brand myself in a way that allows me to explore the music visualization scene, let's say, or
Yeah. I don't know, because since I really like to be in a small project and start in a way from scratch, reaching out someone that is already, let's say, big, I don't know if I like it, because then you don't have so much space to, create and
explore.
Yeah. So definitely.
So how's the startup scene in the music industry? I don't know about this at all.
Actually, at the moment, I'm not super updated on that. I was 10 years ago, but now,
Right.
I think with this revolution of AI, I think something is moving in that sense as well. So I think there will be some startup in that field, and I think maybe Spotify and the big streaming services will do something on that.
Yeah, I guess that's going to impact the industry a lot. If it's anything similar to art, then there must be a lot of evolution going on in the licensing part itself as well, right?
Indeed. Compared to 10 years ago, now it's easier. Yesterday, Daniel Beck, which is the CEO of Spotify, published a video post in which he was explaining how they are dividing the profit to artists, independent labels, collecting societies, because personally I know the how it works, but most of the people don't know. So there's not this culture of knowing how the distribution of money is divided. So which is a great topic, both in the music, both in the movies, both in the arts.
Yeah, it's always an interesting topic because you can approach it from so many sides. One way, it's very nice to open things up and collaborate, but then people also need to make a decent amount of money, at least, to sustain themselves. So that's the eternal conflict, of course. And making money in music is very tough, and so in art as well. But yeah, it just got me curious. I'm curious about how you could position yourself in a way that allows you to work on those dream kind of assignments. And maybe with your new portfolio already doing that, and you can, of course, use your LinkedIn kind of like a place where people understand that you specifically help startups in the art and music scene, or because you do seem to know a lot about it. Like you just told me the CEO's name of Spotify and how he posted this thing. And I mean, I would have never known, right? So you do seem to still be on top of that. And if it's interesting to you, there might not actually be any reason to limit yourself. Maybe limit yourself by actually being too focused on all the opportunities. Maybe things will actually get easier. I don't want to call it easier, but more focused, let's say, if you can limit yourself to the things you are very passionate about, because then you know exactly who to reach out to, which events to attend, and how to position your online presence from your LinkedIn to your market, to your website.
So what was the question, sorry?
It was more of an observation. It's not a question. So the question would be, do you want to focus more or not? And if so, what would be the things you could do?
Yeah, I think now that you said that, thinking that,
Sure.
so let's say that as you said, I can reach out. I can do a research and reach out startups or small companies in these fields and maybe propose like a package or something that I can do for them.
Yeah.
And maybe do a pre research on their business and propose something specific. Because,
Yeah,
as a professional, that you can see clearly sometimes 2 or 3 key points that they can change easily or they can improve, especially in small companies. Because, Spotify is a huge company, but small startup cannot do everything, and they don't know how to do it. So maybe you can prepare like a personal package in which you say, okay, I can help you change this, do this in a different way, blah, 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 and propose them like a meeting or something to understand better what they can improve and what they can reach. So,
right. Yeah, that is what you could, right? You could write that out on your website. Like, these are the things that I do for these industries. And the other side to the coin, I guess, is actually just talking to the people working at these startups and ask them, questions and see which problems they have. And if you spot a problem that you could provide value in, that is, of course, a beautiful way into the conversation. Because what I notice is that if I would send solutions before anyone asks for it or realizes they have a problem, I am the annoying salesperson, right?
Yeah, of course, in the right way. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any other questions or topics that you wanted to go over?
I think we cover a lot already. You have some?
That's okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I have plenty because I was looking at your portfolio. You said you're updating it, and I did cover the questions about where do you want to lean towards to, because it went from lifestyle to, I think the latest one you uploaded was each.
Yeah.
That is the robotics part then, maybe, or?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the rest is just my curiosity about your work. But maybe we can actually meet up for that in Amsterdam sometime.
Yeah, indeed.
That would be a lot of fun.
Live.
Live, yeah.
Yeah.
Get some new contact. No, then I think we covered everything from my side as well. I do want to still send you that link to the event if you're interested.
Yeah, super.
Might be able to meet some nice people there. I hope I've been able to give some insight into the Dutch market, because that was your original question.
Yeah.
And yeah, my main take on the market is quite simple. Maybe apply for vacancies and job gigs that are coming up, but try and be in front of that line by networking. But it sounds like you already do that. Yeah. So maybe the only thing left is to see if you can narrow down your search to make things easier or more specific. That might help. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. Then I want to thank you a lot.
Thanks to you
for today.
Yeah.
It was very nice meeting you.
Very nice to meeting you, and maybe see you in May to your event.
Absolutely. I hope so. Yeah. You should be there.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.